Most High. Yes, for another day in our lives that we've never seen before, and we'll never see it again. So, brothers and sisters, I encourage you to take advantage of the day, okay, and make the best of it. Oh, my goodness. It's so good, family, to have you guys with me today. As always, man, I tell you, I'm excited about all the great things that the Most High is doing. In spite of all of the confusion around us, you know, God is still God. Don't ever forget that. There's never a time when God is not God. Okay, that's where I find my peace, family. That's where I find my joy. When things are not going like I think they should go, I know that means that I've lost focus just for a moment, okay? Because just because things are not going like I think they should go doesn't mean that God is not on the throne, on his divine throne of the Most High. Got me? Okay, and then I have to kind of come back and recenter myself and say, okay, Higgins, come on, get it together, man. You lost your focus for a minute there. You know, yeah, man. I thank the Most High for being with you today and you being with me. It's a wonderful thing. I look forward to this time with you guys every Sunday, okay, because I know that I'm making the best of our time, if it's only for a couple of hours. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I know you got things to do. I got things to do. But I do know that for at least 2 hours while we're together, it's going to be beneficial. It's going to be productive because I'm going to make sure that I'm teaching. You know, not wasting your time, not exciting you, not thrilling and spilling you like most church folk do. Okay, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to enlighten you. I'm here to give you the knowledge necessary that you need for empowered living. Notice how I said that. I'm here to give you the knowledge necessary for empowered living. Okay. And on that note, it kind of takes my mind back over the last couple of weeks here. The last few weeks, we've been talking about the notice of understanding and intent and claim of right. And family, let me tell you guys something. Man, I don't know. I don't think I've ever done a program that invoked as much response from people as that teaching did on understanding your notice of understanding and intent and claim of right that we did over the last few weeks. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all did not give a brother a break at all. I have been nonstop working since I taught on that, you know, trying to get these notices out to you guys, you know, for your empowered living. And I'm excited. Thank you for thank you for listening to the brother. Thank you for listening to me and doing something about your predicament. That means everything to me. You know, when I see y'all send in your application for this or that to get this done, it lets me know that you want to improve yourself. That is the reward that I get as a teacher. Not so much money, not so much opportunity or fame or fortune. No, just knowing that my students are listening to what I'm saying. That's the greatest reward I could ask for, you know, and you guys have proven it, man. I mean, over these last couple of weeks, ordering your notices of intent and claim of right, man. Yeah. So I thank you for listening to a brother. That means everything, you know, as a teacher, that means everything. Let me wet my throat here because I feel it getting dry. Excuse me. Well, family, I want to continue today in a very similar vein. Okay, let's do this now. Let me bring this on, and then I'll start talking about what I'm going to talk about today. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Let me give honor to. See, I'm ready to get into the teaching. You know, because I've been up all for the last couple of days getting ready for this teaching today, and it's amazing how where the Most High has me right now, right here through this time period. I guess I'm excited about what's going on. I'm excited about what I'm going to teach you today. Okay. And I hope you get excited about it. Okay. I'm excited over the fact that many of you, and when I say that, y'all, I mean that many of you, okay, ordered your notice of understanding and intent and claim of right. Okay. And filed that document so you could walk in your power under sui juris living. All right. Now remember, sui juris means living in the power of your own right and not under the authority of another. That's what sui juris means. Okay. And when you realize what's getting ready to happen, you're going to want that real good. You definitely, let me get into the teaching and you will come back to all that. Okay. Right now, let's go here. Why do I teach? Why do I teach? Well, the aim of this teaching today, as all of my messages, is to begin the process of undoing and reversing ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by the religious statements and church doctrines that have caused us as a people to adopt a belief system that has resulted in our loss of contact with what is real, our loss of contact with what is factual, our loss of contact with what is historical, but most of all, our loss of contact with what is spiritual. Okay? You religious leaders out there that are listening to me, and I see the numbers are starting to grow from ministers that are listening to me now. Good, wonderful, okay? Because you as a minister, as a pastor, as an evangelist, as a bishop, whatever, you have the ear of your people, okay? And so I need you to know the truth. They don't have to hear it from me. They can hear it from you. I don't care, as long as they hear it. In fact, to be honest with you, you religious leaders out there that's listening to me right now, I would be honored if you don't even tell your people my name. I mean that. I'm not in this for fame or glory. I'd be honored if you have to tell them my name. I would be honored if you would listen to the teaching and then simply take it back to your people. Okay, that's how we spread the message. Ray Hagins don't have to get the credit. Okay, because whatever I have learned, I've learned from somebody else. Okay, as my dear friend and sister, Dr. Joy DeGrue says, we all came out of our mother's wombs as a goose egg. Okay, so whatever we have acquired in this life, we acquired it from listening to somebody else, okay, or being in contact with somebody else, or somebody had influenced us to develop. So that's really I'm trying to say. It's not my message. It's not my information. No, okay. I'm just one of God's messengers trying to, disseminate this truth. So religious leaders, listen to this. When you've told so many lies on top of each other over the centuries, that telling the truth about one of your early foundational lies would unravel all the lies that have been defensively piled on top of it, thus exposing you for what you are. You have no choice but to continue to lie. Understand this. When your ability to maintain your control over another person's reality is based on the lies about what you are and who they are, you can never tell the truth. Making sense? Okay. Brothers and sisters, today I want to teach you from this question that I have for you. And that is, I mean, that's the wrong slide. Okay, that's the wrong. Yeah, I loaded up the wrong. Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's just do this. Come out of here and I'll just say it to you. Okay. The subject for today. Oh my goodness, did I forget? It slipped my mind. Quick, let me do it this way. Let me just put it on the screen. Okay, the subject for today is, are you ready for what's coming? Let that sink in for a minute. Are you ready for what's coming? I fear to say that the masses of you are not ready. This country went through a very shattering experience last week over the elections. And when you saw how Mr. Trump had won the elections by such a landslide, it was like, whoa, what happened? How did this happen? Okay, well, that's not what I really want to talk about today. All right, I don't even like talking about him, to be honest with you. But what I do want to talk about is what he's getting ready to do. That's what I want to talk about. And that's why the subject for today is, are you ready for what's coming? Okay? Brothers and sisters, how can let me do it this way, okay? And just allow me to kind of bounce back and forth here as I got stuff that I want to share with you, and I want to be sure you get it. I don't want to go past it and say, oh God, I forgot to say that. I forgot to say that. We're getting ready to go into, and again, I hate doing this because it's time stamps my messages or the recordings. But for you today, let's keep it real. We're getting ready to go into 2025. Okay. And I want to tell you about something that happened in 1990 to set the stage for what's getting ready to happen right now. Did that make sense? I want to tell you about something that happened in 1990, okay, that will explain to you what's getting ready to happen with the incoming of the new year. One of the things, family, that's so important for us to realize is the controllers, the programmers, the people in power. They are long-term thinkers. Okay? Hear me very well. They are long-term thinkers. Okay? Understand that now. I'll say it again. They are long-term thinkers. Okay? Now, here's what's deep about that. Why do I say that? Because most of us, being that most of us are not rich, our future is not already set in stone as far as how we're going to fare. So therefore, most of us, okay, are busy trying to make it to the end of the week or to the end of the month to see that our bills get paid for the month. That's about the extent of our futuristic thinking. I'm talking about a people who actually documented what they want to happen in the future. Follow this well. They documented what they want to happen in the future. Okay? And then turned around and put it in print. In fact, you may want to look it up. It's called the Wise Elders of Zion. Okay? You may want to look it up. And you'll see how these Jewish Zionists, leaders, wrote down everything that they intend to make happen over the next few hundred years. Now, here's what's deep about it. There was a time when I was here too, so I'm not knocking you when I say this. But the bulk of my people honestly think that what they wrote down is biblical prophecy. Got what I'm saying here, okay? They think that what these powerful people documented is prophecy. It's not prophecy. It's long-term planning. And then in our ignorance, when we see them pulling off their plans, okay, we call it prophecy being fulfilled. No, family, this ain't got nothing to do with prophecy, but yet to help you accept it, you think it's God at work. And that's why you say, well, hey, whatever is happening is the Lord is in control and God is doing it. So therefore I'm accepted. And I hear that from so many church people. Okay? When you have a world that's being run and governed by satanic powers, and you want to think that it's God at work. Now, yes, God had to allow it. Okay, nothing can happen except it be by the will of God. That's what the Jinyame stands for. Got what I'm saying? That's what it means, okay, to understand that God is still on the throne. But sometimes it doesn't seem like it. All the craziness that's going on. It's like, man, is there really a God? Oh, my goodness. So, brothers and sisters, again, today I want to deal with this subject. Are you ready for what's coming? Let's go to, let me pull this up. You won't see it. I'm just talking now because I don't want to skip any notes that I made, okay? I told you that what's happening is actually the fruit or the fruition of something that happened in 1990 under Daddy Bush, President Daddy Bush, George Bush the father. And I want to share that with you now, okay? And as I share this with you, I hope that you will be able to see how these people think way ahead. They think way down the road, okay? And what's really deep about it is they are so doggone sinister and wicked that if anyone were to come along and threaten to thwart their plans, they would eliminate them. And that's why, the teachers of truth have to be so prayerful. And that's why I need your prayers. I need your prayers that the Most High and our ancestors would protect me. Okay, because I'm going to tell the truth. You can count on. I don't give a damn about me being in danger. Okay, I'm a Marine, man. I'm used to danger. Okay, and I stay strapped too. So you need to understand. I'm not just out here depending on prayer. In other words, okay, I'm gonna do my part. Okay, and when I can't do any more, then I expect the Most High, the ancestors, or whatever, to kick in and help Brother Ray out. But in the meantime, Brother Ray is going to tell you the truth. I'm going to expose the program that's got us messed up. That I'm going to do with the last breath that I can take. And I'm feeling my strength today, man. I'm telling you, I had a hard week, people, but this week today, I'm excited right now about what I'm getting ready to share with you. Okay. What's really crazy about this is I learned about this, what I'm going to share with you today. I learned about this back then. Okay. But little did I didn't know I was going to live to see how this is going to truly, really be applied. And I still may not live that long. I mean, because I'm talking about what's getting ready to come down the pike. Okay. This dude is getting ready to go back into the Oval Office. And if you notice, he's going back into the Oval Office with a sense of calmness, a sense of relaxation. He's not as belligerent, seemingly he's not as belligerent as he has been. But then again, maybe that's because he knows about what I'm going to tell you today. Okay? So let's get right into it. Get ready to take some notes, okay? But I want to talk today about the destruction of the Constitution of the United States. Okay? I want to explain to you how that actually happened already. Follow what I'm saying here. Now you see, as I go through this, you'll see why for the last few weeks I've been teaching on filing the paperwork, okay, to make your declaration to the government that you no longer agree to being governed by them. Okay? But you have to tell them that, because if you don't make that clear, if you don't actually file the paperwork, okay, with a notarized statement stating that you revoke the government's right to have control over you. If you don't actually file the paperwork for that, because they already have the right. As I said in the couple of previous weeks, they've had the right ever since you were born. Okay, your mother or whoever filled out the paperwork for your birth certificate gave them that right when they filled out those forms. Okay, so you need to understand what's getting ready to come down the pike for those of you who are not in control of your own power. Oh, family, listen to me today, please. Okay, I just dropped my. Listen, I want to talk today and try to explain to you about the destruction of the balance of constitutional power. And that destruction took place back in 1990. You're thinking that this dude getting ready to go back into the White House is trying to destroy the Constitution. It's already been destroyed, and he knows that now. Follow what I'm saying? It's already been destroyed, and he knows that. That's why he has the calmness that he has, so he can go ahead and do what he wants to do. I'm going to tell you what's getting ready to happen, man. Okay? I hope you can follow me. Some of y'all ain't going to like what I'm going to say today, but what I'm going to say to you today is documented fact. Okay? I'm talking about something that took place. It was a joint effort between President George Herbert Walker Bush and the United States Congress. And you didn't know anything about it. Using the distraction of the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait as their springboard. Now, you remember back in 91 when this whole thing was about how the United States had invaded Kuwait and all that kind of stuff. Well, that was only a distraction. See, the powers that be have a phrase. And if I seem to be jumping back and forth, family, it's because I'm pretty much talking off the top of my head, okay? But the powers that be have a phrase that says these words: we must never allow a crisis to go to waste. Don't take my word for that. Type that phrase in Google and see that this is how the power elite run the world. They literally will create a crisis, which becomes nothing more than a distraction for what they're really doing. Grab what I'm saying? Okay. Since 1990, the presidents, especially the Bush family, have used national emergencies to get legislation passed that has already begun to take away our freedoms. Follow me here, y'all. Congress, in both instances, gave both Presidents Bush exactly those powers for which they were looking for, so they could do whatever they wanted to do. Now, of course, I got to go back in time. Follow this. I got to go back in time to set the stage to show you what's getting ready to happen now. Okay? Imagine this. Imagine walking halfway into a movie, right? And you're looking at what's on the screen, but based on what you're looking at, you think the butler is the one who committed the murder. And you think that because that's what you're able to see because you're walking into the movie late. But after you go back and watch the beginning of the movie all over again and get into it, you see that it wasn't the butler that committed the murder, but it was the wife that killed the man. But you couldn't see that the first time because you came into the movie halfway through it. But brothers and sisters, that's where we are. Okay? We've come into a world situation that's been in place for a while. Okay? And you can only understand it from where you are. Okay? Grab what I'm saying here. There's this something called national security directives. Okay? Let me see if I can go back to this here. The national security directives here, they're also called NSDDs, for National Security Decision Directives. Okay? But under George Bush, they had that changed to what's called Presidential Executive Orders. Presidential executive orders are hidden and dangerous tools, man. Understand how deep this goes, okay? They're being used to destroy the Constitution. And here's the deep thing about it. Congress has turned a blind eye to these abuses of executive power. Brothers and sisters, there should be 3 branches of government. Okay? What are they? Executive branch. Oh, man. Why is it slipping my brain here? Oh, the executive branch. The judicial branch and I can't think of the other one. Okay, but this is supposed to be the balance of power. Executive branch of government, judicial branch of government, and I can't call the other one for some reason or another. At any rate, you can pull it up. You'll know. And in fact, somebody just type it in to the chat room there to help me out, okay? Because so much is running through my head right now. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get through this the best I can, all right, without going too crazy here. Follow this well. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. At 3:30 a.m. Okay, and I'm going back in time now. Like I said, I got to go back and set the stage so you'll understand what's getting ready to happen today. Some of you guys weren't even born in 1990. Okay, we're talking over 30 years ago here. At 3:30 a.m. on Saturday, August 4th, 1990. That was the date, okay, that this took place. At 3, now again, notice here, 3:30 a.m., not 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, everybody's wide awake. No, this happened in the wee hours of the morning when the world was asleep. A minority of United States senators passed Senate Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 1991, also known as Senate Bill 2834. Okay? Now, family, everything I'm going to give you today, you can verify for yourself. But I got to teach you. I got to bring it to your awareness because most of you don't know about this. Okay? But once you know about it, then you can do something about it. Now, you won't be able to change their agenda, but you can change their plan concerning you. And that's why for the last few weeks, we've been filing the proper paperwork to make this happen. So you're not victimized by what I'm going to teach you today. Okay? As I told you, 3:30 a.m., I got to stress that to you. 3:30 a.m., Saturday, August 4th, 1990, a minority of United States senators passed Senate Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 1991 under Senate Bill 2834. Brothers and sisters, this bill not only fundamentally changed the constitutional system of the United States of America, it literally loosed upon the world the very evil that will be the downfall of America. Okay? Now, what I need you guys to understand, and feel free to do this, okay, I tried to do this today, I hope it's there. I put a link in the description below there. If you're watching it on YouTube or wherever, if you can read the description, there should be a link there. Okay, I hope it's there. If you click that link, it will actually take you to the document of Senate Bill 2834. Okay. And you're going to have to take all this coming week just to research the document for yourself. The American people were so distracted by what they called the Middle East crisis that the public and their political representatives knew absolutely nothing at all about this bill because it was done in secret. That's why George Bush called in the required amount of senators to sign off on this bill at 3:30 in the morning. Not the Senate itself, just the necessary amount of senators to sign off on this and make it a law. Okay? And that's how laws get passed covertly, under the disguise of national security. You'd be surprised the stuff that's done under the disguise of national security. See, the Constitution gave the president that right under the disguise of for the sake of the security of this country and the security of the people of America. Laws have been passed that if you knew about those laws, you never would have agreed to it. But they do it under the disguise of national security. Okay? The particular powers that this Senate Bill 2834 gives to the President of the United States. Now, mind you, when the bill was written, it gave these powers to George Bush Sr. Okay, but George Bush Sr. wasn't so much worried about him having this power. He was, listen, y'all, keep in mind, these people know what's going to happen 25 to 50 years into the future. You know why? Because they plan it. He knew his son was going to be a future president. He put a bill in place that would give his son unlimited authority to do almost anything he wanted to do. Okay? If you remember, when the 9/11, when the towers fell, George Bush, y'all, I was wondering how, in less than an hour's time, and less than an hour after those buildings fell down, what was his name? Not Saddam Hussein. Ooh, what's wrong with my mind here, man? This other dude who they blame for the destruction of the towers. Okay, his picture was plastered all over the television, everywhere. Less than an hour. Osama bin Laden, that's his name. Thank you. Okay, less than an hour after the buildings fell, everybody was looking for Osama bin Laden. How did they come up with that so fast? And then how did George Bush declare not another plane could fly? Okay, they grounded everything except the plane carrying Osama bin Laden and his family so they could go back home. Understand, we're dealing with some wickedness here, man. Okay? So the particular powers that's given to the president, not just George Bush, but this bill gives the powers to the president, whoever the president is. Now you see why it's getting ready to get crazy up in here. Follow what I'm saying, man. Okay. Okay, Mitch. Guys, don't text me while I'm teaching, guys, okay? Because I don't know if it's important. I don't know if it's emergency. Just wait till after I finish, then send me text, okay? Thank you. I got you, Mitch. I got you, okay? Okay. See, that distracted me. Now, what was I saying? Doggone it. Once this, I'm not going to say new president, because he already came in and planted the seeds of what he wants to do. Okay, the very fact that a convict, the very fact that a criminal who's been indicted, found guilty on several charges, the very fact that someone like that could go back into the Oval Office tells me that this country is really in trouble. It really is. I mean, it really is in trouble. Let me turn this off here. Excuse me, family. Okay. Follow this. And I'm going to go through this as briefly as I can, because I know I'm running out of time real quick here. Okay. Listen to this. According to Senate Bill 2834, okay, under what you're just reading, under the Senate Intelligence Act, under Senate Bill 2834, the President of the United States. Now, I'm not going to say Donald Trump or George Bush or Barack Obama. Again, whoever is the president will have this power while they're in office. Okay? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly don't think that George, what's this guy getting ready to go back to Orange Man? I honestly don't think he knew about this bill during his first term. I personally believe that people around him knew about it. Okay, I believe and I, because his countenance has changed too much. In other words, when you know you have power, you don't have to act stupid. When you know you have power, you don't have to make a lot of noise. When you know you have power, you just go ahead and exercise your power. That's one of the reasons why you never hear Brother Ray Higgins hold his fist up in the air and scream Black Power. You will never hear me do that. Now, I'm not knocking those who do, but Brother Ray understands that that's not power. Screaming Black Power is not power. Power is keeping your mouth shut and just go ahead and make happen what you want to happen. That's power. That's the definition of power. Power is the ability to bring to pass what you want or what you desire to be. If you can't make happen what you want to happen, then you do not have power. I don't care how much you holler Black Power. Okay? So you don't have to holler Black Power to me. Just show me your power. That's all. Walk in your power. Why in the hell you think we did these documents? Man, these documents so you can walk in your power and not under the power of another. That's what sui juris means. Living under your power and not under the power of the United States government. Okay? And yes, people, all you got to do is let them know that you insist on revoking their right to have power over you. Understand how, you see, the reason why this seems so far-fetched, okay, to many of us is because we still got that slave mentality. People who wrote to me this week talking about, I took my document in to file it and they didn't want to accept it. You got the wrong perspective. I told you, people, you don't ask them, you tell them. See, that's what that means when you have power. Now, you don't go in belligerently, but when you know you have your power, you don't have to ask. I'm not asking for you to do this, y'all. I'm telling you this is what's going to happen. Understand how deep this goes, okay? And this is one of the reasons, y'all, why I do this, because now that I understand all this, I got to teach the people. I got to teach the people. I got to make you guys aware of what's in store. It's the law. Again, this law was created, okay, at 3:30 in the morning on Saturday, August the 4th, 1990, in the Oval Office, was signed into law, Senate Bill 2834. Now, let me tell you what Senate Bill 2834 does, okay? The particular powers that this Senate Bill 2834 gives the President of the United States, okay, not just the president who was in office at the time, but anyone who holds that office. Okay, here's what it does. It gives this power to the president. One, and write these down, family, okay, because I was trying to go through this and I have time to put it all in PowerPoint form for you. Okay, so just make note of it. The first thing that this bill does, Senate Bill 2834, is it gives the President of the United States, or the POTUS, the power to initiate war anywhere in the world without the consent of Congress. Now, see, up until this bill was passed and signed off into law, before the president could do certain things, it had to be an act of Congress. The president had to take the matter to Congress. Okay? But they got rid of that. See, the Constitution says that has to be done. But they got rid of that because Senate Bill 2834 gives the power of initiating war anywhere in the world to the President of the United States. Now, when I was in the Marine Corps, that's one of the things that they taught me. They taught me that as a Marine, the president does not have to ask Congress to send you guys into war. Okay? Because the Marine Corps is known as the president's own personal fighting force, the United States Marines. Okay? So you don't have to ask Congress if the Marines can go in. And that's why the Marines are always the first to go, because in the past they were meeting as to whether they're going to do it or not. The president had to get into that. He just sent the Marines in the meantime. Okay. The second thing that this bill does is gives the power to appropriate public funds. Follow this now. This Senate Bill 2834, number 2, it gives the President of the United States the power to appropriate public funds, again, without the consent of Congress. The third thing that this bill does, Senate Bill 2834, it gives the President of the United States the power to define foreign policy goals, again, without the consent of Congress. And 4, it gives the president the power to decide what is or is not important to our national security. That's a lot of power. I got to whip my throat on that one. And just think, this man's getting ready to go back in the Oval Office with this kind of power. Honestly, I don't believe he knew about this when he was in the office for the first time. But he's going back in now with a whole different mindset, a whole different construct of himself, whole different. Notice his personality is even different. He ain't selling as much wolf tickets now. He don't have to. Like I said, when you have power, you don't have to make a lot of noise. Just go do what you're gonna do. Okay? And see, he's the kind of person who doesn't care. He don't give a damn who like what he's doing or not. If he got the power to do it, he's gonna do it. Now, understand this. Another title for this is called the Oversight of Intelligence Activities, Title 7, Senate Bill 2834. Okay? Again, I told you I put the link to this bill down below. Okay, so just go down and click on that after I finish teaching, and you can pull up that and study it and learn. This bill, Senate Bill 2834, authorizes the following. Gives one. Now, this is some more. I just read 4 things that it empowered the president to do, okay? Now I'm going to tell you about 4 more things to that. The Oversight of Intelligence Activities, Title 7 part of the bill, gives the president of the United States complete power to initiate covert actions anywhere in the world. So the president can send Delta Force in or Recon Marines in, okay, and go in and just kill enemies, covert actions. Covert means done undercover. It's not known to everybody, okay? The next thing is it prevents Congress from stopping the president's initiation of such covert actions. So you see how this dude had all this stuff in his head when they wrote this thing? Normally, like I said, the president, see, here's how this goes. There's a difference between a president and a king. A king doesn't need permission to do anything. He's the king. A president needs an act of Congress to do certain things. Okay? And that's the difference. The president is not a king. However, this bill, when it was passed, actually made George Bush King George. I don't know if you remember when, I think I started talking about this when the World Trade Center came down, and George Bush, within a few hours, had issued orders, to find Osama bin Laden, no matter what the cost, assassinate, kill him, and whoever else is affiliated with him. one person can make that decision? It seems that even if you're not going to incorporate Congress to help you make a decision that's not going to backfire on you, at least bring in some advisors. Okay? No. This bill also prevents Congress from stopping the president's initiation of any covert action anywhere in the world. Next thing is, this bill allows the president. Y'all hear this? Hear how much power this dude who's getting ready to get back into the office will have when he gets back in. And what's deep about it is because the bill exists, is real. You can read it for yourself. He will know that he got this kind of power. He will know it now if he didn't have it the first time. If he didn't know it the first time, he's going to know it this time. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. This bill allows the president to use any federal department, any federal agencies, or any entity to operate or finance a covert operation anywhere in the world. You know, I was listening to I think I heard it yesterday or the day before, and it was saying how Trump is going to end the war between Russia and y'all know what I'm talking about. Man, this what is the little country that Russia's destroying? Can't call it. At any rate, Trump is saying he's going to go in and put a stop to that. How can he do that? That's not his home. He don't live there. What gives him the right or the power to do anything anywhere else on planet Earth, except the United States, where he's the president, chief executive officer, commander in chief? I mean, but this bill does that. And see, this was crazy. When you write a bill like this and you give it to a megalomaniac, the world is in trouble. The world is in trouble. The fourth thing it does is this bill, follow me well, it redefines covert actions as, quote, operations that are necessary to support foreign policy objectives of the United States. A phrase so vague and broad as to be essentially unlimited. Under the disguise of national security, for the sake of national security. In other words, and see, that's what the American public wants to hear. You want to hear that the president is going to take care of the American people. You want to hear that the president is going to be sure to secure our freedoms and secure the privileges that we have as our rights in this country. That's what you want to hear. Okay? But you don't want to hear what's going to happen for that to take place. Okay? I've tried to share stuff with y'all, without giving you too much. I told you about a book called The Unseen Hand by Ralph Epperson, okay, which is a book which describes the covert activities of the United States government, okay, but it's called The Unseen Hand because the government's going to put they're going to put a distraction out here so you can look at the distraction, okay, while they're doing something else over here with this hand that you don't see. If you don't have the book The Unseen Hand, get it. Get it by Ralph Epperson. Okay? Again, this bill redefines what a covert action is. Okay, now covert action in its original simple definition is simply an action that is done in secret. That's what covert means. It's done in secret. Folk don't know about it. Okay, but this one has now redefined covert actions as, and I say again, operations that are necessary to support foreign policy objectives of the United States. Now, do you know what the foreign policy objectives are of the United States? Have you read what they are? Have you? Okay, maybe I can give you a couple of things to look up. Yes, I'm going to do that. Okay. How about this one right here? And you've heard me talk about these before, but let's start this one. Okay. Global 2000. The Global 2000 report to the president, ordered by President Jimmy Carter. Okay. And I believe at the time his national security advisor was Zbigniew Brzezinski. I think that was great. Either him or was it Alexander Haig, one or two. Okay. But this policy is talking about literally, y'all hear me very well. Okay. It's deep, man, to walk around with all this stuff in your head and just can't share it with everybody. Okay. Because, start talking this stuff to people and they don't believe you. And they call you conspiracy theorists and all this. No, this is not a conspiracy theory, people. Again, click the link in the description below and pull up the bill for yourself and read it. Okay? I'm glad I got y'all as my audience so I can just say what I need to say. Oh, my goodness. Family, Senate Bill 2834 officially gave George W. Bush and every president subsequent to him. Okay? It literally gives the president of the United States the authority to interfere in the internal, political, economic, or military affairs of other countries. Yes. Okay, why does the United States act like they're the constable of the world? Because of this bill right here. Who told us we need to be running off into other countries, solving their problems for them? Getting involved in business that ain't ours. Where do we get that from? Senate Bill 2834. Now, here's the deep thing about it, brothers and sisters, and here's the real scary part about this bill. Follow me very well here. Here's the real scary, mark my time, okay. Here's the real scary part about this bill. There are no penalties in the bill for violating any of its provisions, including the provision requiring a finding. Okay, for example, we never found any weapons of mass destruction. Right? But that was George Bush's excuse for going in and killing Saddam Hussein. How did he have the power to do that? Congress didn't give him that power. This bill did. He went in, killed the man. Got what I'm saying? Okay, and now here's the thing here. What the lie that he told the masses was Saddam Hussein got weapons of mass destruction, and we got to put a stop to it. There were no weapons of mass destruction, brothers and sisters. There were no weapons of mass destruction. Okay, that's water under the bridge now, but you got to understand how you were lied to. Senate Bill 2834 literally hands the power of all of the branches of the government, executive, legislative, that's the one I couldn't think of, executive, legislative, and judicial to George Bush on a silver platter. And again, not only to him, I'm saying his name because he was the president at the time the bill went into law. That bill is still on the books, y'all. Even though we got a different president now, that law is still on the books. So the president has this power. Whoever the president is. Understand this. Now you know how it was possible for George Bush to act so swiftly and so decisively after, as I said, the September 11 attacks. He formulated a plan against Afghanistan and then simply announced it. No meeting of Congress. No meeting of Congress, because he didn't have to meet with them. He'd have to get their permission. So rather than going to Congress for either a declaration of war or any other type of authorization. The real tragedy is that the people of this country are so damn ignorant of how this government works that even most congresspersons and senators have absolutely no idea how powerless they are. This is why I had you guys do this document, people, over the last couple of weeks. I know it's getting ready to happen, man. I see what's coming down the pike. And if you're not in the position to live under your own power, excuse me, family, but I'm feeling this today. If you're not in the position to live under your own power, under your own authority, your ass is going to be in trouble. I'm sorry, man. I got to tell it like it is. And when I think about the ignorance of that's why I cry, y'all. I cry for the ignorance of my people. Understand what we're dealing with here. Understand what's happening here, man. Now you also understand how it was possible for the Bush administration to claim that the president had the authority to carry out covert operations against Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein, including the authority to assassinate them. That wasn't a congressional order. Okay? The 007 bill kind of thing now, you got license to kill. That's what Senate Bill 2834 gave the President of the United States. Whoa, man. So this bill, which was secretly passed in the Oval Office of President George Herbert Walker Bush, gave George W. Bush, his son, that authority. This bill laid this bill hid and undetected in the weeds of corrupt political plans for years before the attack on September the 11th, 2001, when its provisions were enacted. Grab that. Now, understand me. Again, remember here, crisis creation, right? Let me show you how this whole thing was planned. I hope I can make sense to you as I break this down. Right after, follow me, follow this well. Right after the attack on the World Trade Towers in September 11, 2001, right after that happened, President Bush used the authority given to him under this bill to sign into law without an act of Congress. Hear me, people. Without an act of Congress, George Bush signed this bill into law, not this bill, the USA Patriot Act of 2001. I'm sure you heard about it. The Patriot Act, right? The Patriot Act, brothers and sisters, follow me well. The Patriot Act has absolutely nothing at all to do with patriotism. I need to say that again. The Patriot Act has absolutely nothing at all to do with patriotism. Nothing. Okay? That is just the deception of the acronym USA Patriot. Okay, and I want you to write this down. So I'm going to take my time and go through this. Okay, write that down, but write it vertically. Don't write it horizontally. Okay, because each letter stands for another word. Okay, and you're going to see how they did this, how they deceived you with the word patriot. Because people ask you, are you a patriot? Yes, I'm a patriot. I'm a citizen I'm an American citizen. I love my country. I'm a patriot. Well, USA Patriot ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing. Okay, again, that's the deception of the acronym USA Patriot Act. Okay, I told you to write this down. USA Patriot. It stands for, okay, the U stands for uniting. So write the word uniting next to the letter U. And strengthening. Write the word strengthening next to the letter S. America. Write the word America next to the A. So right off the bat, you see this act has an agenda to it. Uniting and strengthening America by doing what? Now here's what the word patriot stands for. Write the word providing next to the letter P. Next to the letter A, write the word appropriate. Next to the letter T, write the word tools. Tools, right. Next to the letter R, write the word required. Next to the letter I, write the word intercept. Next to the letter O, write the word obstruct. And next to the letter T, write the word terrorism. Okay? Now you can see, hope you can begin to see how this all falls into place now. Okay? Because like I said, right after the buildings fell, George Bush signed into law the USA Patriot Act. But yet it's many pages long. So how did they write this in advance unless they knew something was coming? Got what I'm saying? How could they write this in advance? So actually it stands for USA Patriot Act stands for uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. That's what the acronym stands for. Let me educate you today, family. Let me set the stage to show you why you need to free yourself from the control of the power of the government over you. Because when all this stuff goes down, okay, if you're not a free man or woman on the land, you're in trouble. Unless you file the documentation to tell the government, leave me out of this. You do not have the right authority to tell me or my family what we're going to do. Okay, and I have the proof right here. Notarized proof right here that I am in control of my own affairs. Until you can do that, they control your affairs. That's what I've been trying to make plain to y'all over the last few weeks. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back and listen to the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, Lord, I'm thinking, okay, more bombardment. I know it's going to happen, but I don't mind. I don't mind the bombardment. I really don't. If it puts you in the position as an African living in America, to live in the right of your own power. Okay? If it gives you the right to live sui juris under your own power and not under the power of another, that's all that means. You need to prepare yourself so that when everything goes down, okay, you'll have a defense for yourself. Because without it, you will not be able to stand and defend yourself at all. And it's deep because this man getting ready to go back into the Oval Office knows what I'm saying to you right now. He knows that the American people are ignorant of this. He knows that. And I said this for the last few weeks. The powers that be depend on the ignorance of the people to survive. Their agenda depends on your ignorance. Okay? So if you can start enlightening people, that's why I say share what I share with you, share with others. Okay? Brothers and sisters, the information I shared with you today can be easily found in a book called Behold a Pale Horse, authored by William Cooper. okay, or William Bill Cooper, we call him, who was a former naval intelligence officer who became a whistleblower. And of course, they killed him. Okay, he had a what do you call this? We're broadcasting like I'm doing now. He had the same thing. He was broadcasting from his home out in way up in nowhere. he had actually built a cabin way out in nowhere to get away from all this, the system, in other words. Okay. And he was teaching this over the air, going out over the airwaves, just like this is going out over the airwaves. And a knock came on his door. And they claimed that they were serving a traffic summons. He didn't show up in court or some stuff like that. And they used that as an excuse to raid his home where they shot and killed him. Yep, that's what they did, the government, because he was exposing the lies of the government. And so that's what they did. They killed the man. Brothers and sisters, you cannot be a punk if you're going to tell the truth. Real simple. That's all there's to it. Okay? And you got to understand something. Once you understand, let me tell you what I understand. Once you understand why you are on this planet and your purpose for being here, whatever consequences you may befall you for doing your job is completely insignificant. Because to me, the only thing that matters is that I get the truth out to the people. That's all that's all I care about. I've lost friends, I don't care. As long as I can tell the truth to the people. I've had family members turn their back on me, I don't care. As long as it will let me tell the truth to my people. Get the picture? Money that I could have had if I was still preaching the program, I don't care. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be a truth speaker. I'm sorry, guys, but if you guys could see what I see, you would understand my tears. We got some good people. I look at the so many of our elders and our young people who are totally oblivious to what I'm telling you today. Of course, I'm going to do my part to try to enlighten as many people as I can. Yeah, I'm going to do my part to try to enlighten as many people as I can. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, family. I pray that you guys will, again, in the description below is the link to Senate Bill 2834. Okay? So feel free to just go ahead and access that. It's right there. Pull it up. There's a lot of reading. Okay? But read it so you'll know what is in place for your enslavement. You're talking about slavery in the past? Oh man, according to the plans that these people coming down the pike who are now going to be in power, according to the plans that they have in store for you, and notice I said for you, I didn't say us that time, because I've taken that power away from them as far as Ray Hagins is concerned. Got me? If you truly understood the thinking of these people is going to be in power in the very near future, you would do something about it. You would definitely immediately change your status. And when I say change your status now, I'm not talking about what the Moors are doing in the UCC1. I'm not talking about that. That's a whole different thing. Okay? Because I've got an email asking me if I would do your UCC1 for you. Okay? I don't do UCC1s for $75. In fact, you know what? Take that back. At this point in my life, I'm not doing UCC1s anymore, period. That's just too much work. okay, for my age and my health. Got me? But you don't have to do a UCC1 to declare your position. Okay, you don't have to do a UCC1 financing statement to remove from them their power over you. Y'all are not playing. They wrote this stuff a long time ago, and they're getting ready to put it in place. They're getting ready to put it in action. And you have to protect yourself. Nobody gonna protect you but you. And I'm glad I just said that, because I've had a couple of people to ask me, how to argue their position. Learn it. Learn it. Learn your rights. As I said a couple of weeks ago, he who does not know his rights is no better off than he who has no rights. Brothers and sisters, this ain't got nothing to do with religion, what I'm talking about. Religion is the distraction. Grab what I'm saying here. Religion is the distraction. Okay? While you jumping up and down and screaming, hollering, this damn law is in place, getting ready to silence you and your family and your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. Oh, man. I hope y'all can feel the essence of what I'm saying today. There are people that want to kill you, doggone it. And I'm trying to help keep you alive, especially my people. Okay? The Most High rescued me from that distraction and then positioned me to learn what I need to learn to equip my people to survive in the belly of the beast. Okay? So that's why I do this, y'all. Do you understand that? I want to see my grandchildren walk in power. I'm not going to let my grandkids be victims of a sinister, satanic system. I want them to understand what it is that we are dealing with here. You need to be teaching this to your children. Everything I said today needs to be taught to your family. Okay? This is not about religion. This is not about belief system. Sit your family down and have them listen to this teaching today. Let them read the Senate Bill 2834 for themselves. Let them see that this thing is really a law. It was put in place. It was put in place on purpose to give the ruling elite the power they need to do what they need to do. If they want to put you in extermination chambers like they did in Germany years ago, they would get the picture. Y'all, I can't stress this enough. I'm not trying to scare you. I don't want you to be scared. I want you to be aware. See, as long as you're scared, you're gonna act like a punk. I don't want you to do that. I want you to walk in your power. I want you to hold your head up high. Okay? Brothers, put some bass in your voice. Stop talking like like you're scared. Hold your head up high, brother. Sister, walk with a sense of determination, pride, because you are our strength. Sisters, hear me. The black man's strength is the black woman. Man, as long as you got our back, ain't nothing we can't do. Understand this. But sister, if you're walking in ignorance, how can you be strength to your man? He's going to need your support. He's going to need your strength, woman. When he starts getting attacked, he's going to know that you stand with him, and not the old whole program of, honey, just leave it alone. Let it be, honey. We don't want no trouble, honey. See, that those days are gone, man. The young people today, they don't walk by that teaching. Young people today are not playing. No. This whole thing, we don't want no trouble. These young people today want trouble. They want trouble. They're looking for trouble. Okay, and if they ever find out the truth of how they've been lied to by this government and the powers that be, woo, man, y'all. Well, Well, brothers and sisters, listen, time for me to get out of here now. Okay, I hope the message today made sense to you. I really do. And again, I apologize for breaking down and getting emotional at those points. But y'all, if y'all could see what I see, you'd understand why I cry. There was supposedly a prophet in the Bible named Jeremiah, and they called him the weeping prophet because he cried all the time when he would get up and prophesy. But he was prophesying warning of doom and destruction that was coming to the people, but they weren't paying attention. And so he would cry. That's how I feel sometimes. My friend and dear brother, the late brother Del Jones, put out a song and said, "Ancestors, please help the people to see because they won't listen to me." That's how I feel sometimes. You know? Especially when I'm being attacked by my own people for simply trying to set them free. Y'all have no idea what that feels like. When I'm trying to tell you the truth, and then you turn around and say, I'm the Antichrist. Or you turn around and say, I'm the devil, or whatever. That's why I say, prove me wrong. I try to provide the evidence of what I'm saying to you. Just like I said down in the link below, just go ahead and click that and pull up the whole document, save it, download it and save it, study it, teach it to your people. Okay? Y'all, there's a war going on. And if you're going to win, you have to exercise the right tactics and stratagems. Okay? I'm trying to equip you as best I can, and I'm going to keep on doing it as long as I can. And then when I can no longer do it, God, I know that the Most High and the ancestors will give you somebody else. But now understand, I'm not the only one doing it. I'm just one of the many messengers out here trying to tell you the truth. I am honored, family. I'm seriously, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I am so honored that I'm not a preacher anymore. I'm so thankful to the Most High God for rescuing me from that program and making me a teacher, a ma'akaru of truth, a truth speaker. And I'm going to do that. I want to make teachers out of you, because if each one teach one and each one reach one, man, we'll save a lot of lives. A lot of lives. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm going to bring this to an end. Boy. I don't want to end it right now, but I pretty much said everything I have to say at this point. Maybe the ancestors in spirit will give me more to say to do a part 2 on this bill next week. Maybe. I'm not promising that. Okay. I gave you enough today for you to do the research on the bill yourself. As long as you understand that this bill, this is the one thing I want you to remember. This bill gives the President of the United States unlimited power. Okay? It's so important for you to understand that. It gives the President of the United States unlimited power. Unlimited power. It's deep because when I first learned about this, which was back in the 90s, I had one of my associate ministers at the time. His name was Minister Derek Boa. I said, Derek, let's do a show on this, because I had a television show in New Jersey at the time. I said, let's do a show about this, man, and we'll call this show "The Unlimited Powers of the President of the United States." But instead of me talking about it, I want you to come on as the one who brought this information to me. Okay, so I got you on. I'm a host you on my show, and you're bringing this information to the people. For years, I hated that I did that because that was a Wednesday night. Our show aired on Wednesday night. That Friday night, 2 days later, Derek was dead. Oh, man. And it's deep because the brother was so on fire as a soldier for righteousness. That was his life. Oh, man. And I said, I blame myself because I said, if I hadn't exposed Derek to such a wide audience in the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area, back then was when it was more unacceptable to receive this information, maybe he'd be alive. Brothers and sisters, there's just nothing to play with, man. Okay, enough of the tears. I'm gonna have to just go off the air now, so I can get myself together. And the reason why I think I'm crying now is because I know that some of you listening to me are not gonna pay this any attention. You're just gonna completely ignore it to your own destruction. Okay, and that's you. That's on you. But I have the responsibility of telling you the truth. That's my job. And I'm going to do my job. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. I don't care who don't like it. I have to be at peace, man, with myself for knowing I've done what I'm supposed to do. You know, when we first started in St. Louis, the opposition I experienced from the pastors and ministers there, I literally on Sundays, after we finish our fellowship, I would literally drive home, get undressed, and sit in my recliner and sit back like this and say, God, thank you for helping me tell the truth today. That's what I would do every week. Thank you for helping me to tell the truth today. Not next week, just today. Oh, boy. Okay, guys. Let's go here now. Let me do this, okay? If you're listening to me there on YouTube, like I said, you can, in the description below, click that link. I hope it works. I've never used that before. I hope it is working. Click that link, okay, and pull up the Senate Bill 2834. Read that, study it, okay? Don't just study it. Make copies of it. Pass it out. Get this information. Now, if you have a on-air show, share it on your show. Okay, but the people need to know about this. Something that was put in place a couple of generations ago. You understand what I'm saying? To affect us now. And look at what's getting ready to happen. I will never understand. It will never make sense to me how this man is going back into the Oval Office. But when I understand it in the light of Senate Bill 2834, I say, okay, now I understand why he's going back in office. Look at the power it's going to give this dude. And he's going to use that power too, because he's a megalomaniac. A megalomaniac is a person who is in love with being in power. Send me your email. There's my email address, rayhiggins@gmail.com. Okay? I also invite you to log on and listen to our 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week broadcast. It is, just like I said, 24/7 on our website. Just go to theafricanvillage.org. And if you want, you can add to that WBLR, and it'll take you right to the page where we broadcast this streaming 24/7. Okay? There are two windows there. The top window is the live stream broadcast. The bottom window is for video content that Facebook or YouTube can't take down because they didn't like what I said. Or they can run this line on me. It's not in line with community standards. What in the hell? What community standards? You've never given me a list of what community standards are here. Okay? Your community standard might be, I got to stop this man simply because I'm a Christian and I don't like what he's saying. That means your community standard you'd be feeling, I got to defend the gospel. I got to defend the faith. I got to do everything I can to silence this man. That's what you might call your community standard. Brothers and sisters, the ancestors ain't going to let you do that. I'm telling you now. Okay? Yep. Did you ever hear this song? Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Yeah. I feel a new anointing. I feel a new empowerment. Even with my physical condition, I feel a new empowerment, man. You know, I mean that. I feel it right this minute. Yeah. 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 We got to save our people. Got to. Okay, guys. I'm trying to keep it together here. Those of you who want to share your donations to help us to continue our work, here's how you can do it. Send your donations. If you're doing it through PayPal, here's our PayPal address. Go to African Village. Go to paypal.com, and our donation address is africanvillage1 at AOL.com. Or you can just go to the website and look all the way to the left at the top of the page. You'll see a tab that says donate. Click that. Okay? If you're making your donation through Cash App, it is our Cash App address, Cash Tag, that's the $, Dr. Ray Higgins, as you see written there. No periods, no spaces. Or if you're making a donation through Zelle, the address to give is simply my email address. Or if you want to mail in your donation, make your donation payable to the African Village. Check a money order. Please do not send cash through the mail. Check a money order. Make it payable to the African Village and send it to 863 Flat Shoals Road, Southeast. Suite number 242, Conyers, Georgia, 30094. Okay? And family, you guys have absolutely no idea. I'll never be able to explain or describe how much I appreciate your continued support. Okay, some of you guys, you do not fail, man. I mean, every week. It's really, I hope this don't sound strange. Can you believe that I know some of you guys through your donations better than I've known some people through their attendance? If that makes sense. Okay. And I say that because there's a Bible verse, if you allow me to quote it, that says, where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. In other words, that which you love is what you will support with everything you have. So I thank you guys for showing your support every week, to our work. And hey, I commit myself to you, we're just going to keep on telling the truth. Yeah, we have to. Okay. Okay, that's for the Notice of Understanding and Intent. Okay, now we have this organization right here called the Black Achievement Fund, who is really putting into practice everything you heard me say. As far as getting the truth to our people, study groups, we got the Kemet Club, workshop, got the space to hold study sessions now, Okay, we just bought property over 120 acres of land so that we can do what we have to do for our people. Yeah. So come on to be a part of us. Black Achievement Fund. Yep, we're having a ball. We're growing. Week by week, we're growing. I get the notices of those of you who have come and joined the Black Achievement Fund. Y'all, it's only $9 a month. $9 a month. Here's our formula. Okay? Here's our formula. 10 million people, 10 million brothers and sisters or allies, okay? Meaning folk who don't look like us, but they want to support what we're doing. Grab me? Okay. 10 million people giving $9 a month. Grab me? Will give us over $1 billion a year for our empowerment. So come on. Join the Black Achievement Fund. Be a part of us. Yeah, that's me in the middle right there. And that's Brother Arkia, our national president, with his arms up in the air, with his arm in the air, okay? Black Achievement Fund. See the website at the bottom of the page, baf.solutions? Y'all go there. Go there. And you know why I promote Black Achievement Fund so strongly? Because the Black Achievement Fund is the first organization. I mean this. I've met with many organizations during my career as a pastor who want me to get involved with their organization because I have influence with people. All right. Well, Black Achievement Fund did not approach me like others have. I approached them, so I want to be a part of this. When I listened to Brother Arkee's presentation, I was sold then. And I have to be honest with you guys, since I've joined, I have not been disappointed as I have been previously with other organizations. I love the membership. I love the brothers and sisters in the Black Achievement Fund. You know why? Because they're serious about who we as Africans are. Okay? Brother Arkie is one of the most humble brothers I've ever met in my life. Okay? But as far as I'm concerned, in stature, he's bigger than I am. Yeah, I see you laughing now, Arkie. But I mean that, brother. Okay, I've gotten a chance to embrace you. I've gotten a chance to feel your heartbeat next to mine. I've gotten a chance to feel your spirit. And that's why I try to promote this. We got to free ourselves, people. Understand what I'm saying? We got to free ourselves. Time for me to get out of here now. Okay. Coming up at the 2:00 hour, talking about Arkie. I want you to hear his presentation. If you haven't heard it already, every Sunday when we go off, I try to get out of the way so I don't get in the way of his time. Okay. He comes on at 2:00. He's going to share the vision of the Black Achievement Fund. If you're able to linger, stay around and hear it, please do if you don't know it already. And come on and join. Be a part of us. Once you join, I'll get an email from them telling me that you joined. And then I'm going to send an email to you. Okay? Saying welcome. Family, it's time for us to get out of here now. So let's get on down here and sing our fun song, The African in Me loves the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. You know why? Because you're easy to love. Okay.